In the year 2046, Gray Trace, an auto mechanic, resides with his spouse Asha, who works for Cobalt, a company involved in the development of human-computer integration. Gray asks Asha for assistance in returning a reconditioned car to his esteemed tech innovator customer Aaron Keene. Aaron shows off his most recent invention, a chip known as STEM that controls a person's motor functions, while having a houseguest. Gray and Asha's self-driving car breaks down and crashes on the way home. Gray's spinal cord is severed as 4 guys shoot him in the neck, killing Asha. After several months, Gray returns home with his mother Pamela in tow as a quadriplegic who uses a wheelchair. Gray spirals into sadness as a result of Asha's passing and Detective Cortez's failure to identify their assailants. Aaron visits him following a failed attempt at suicide and persuades him to take a STEM implant. After Gray is able to move his limbs again, Aaron makes him sign a non-disclosure agreement, which forces Gray to maintain his paralysis. Gray hears STEM speak in his head as he watches a drone video feed of his wife's murder. STEM claims to be able to assist Gray in exacting revenge and promptly recognizes Cirque Brantner as one of the attackers from the footage. After breaking into Cirque's house, Gray discovers evidence that he was upgraded via a covert military operation and establishes a connection between Cirque and the Old Bones, a neighborhood pub. When Cirque shows up and starts attacking, STEM persuades Gray to relinquish control of his body for a short while. This allows STEM to transform Gray into a deadly fighting machine that kills Cirque with minimal effort. After witnessing drone footage of Gray's wheelchair approaching Cirque's home, Cortez rules Gray out as a suspect due to his immobility. Aaron chastises Gray for his vigilantism after following STEM's whereabouts. Aaron is taken aback when Gray says he's hearing from STEM and orders Gray to cease his research. When Gray gets to the Old Bones, he encounters Tolan, one of the attackers. After learning the identity of the assailant's commander, Fisk, Gray permits STEM to torment Tolan until he dies. Gray staggers out of the bar, and STEM tells him Aaron is trying to take them down remotely. Gray follows STEM to a neighboring hacker named Jamie, who successfully takes down STEM's input guard before disappearing as Fisk arrives. Now that STEM is back in power, Gray murders Fisk's friends. When Gray gets home, Pamela finds him strolling about, which forces him to admit STEM's presence. Finding Gray's wheelchair mysteriously left behind at the Old Bones, Cortez shows up to question them. She departs after placing a listening device on Gray's jacket. Gray asks STEM to stop hunting, but STEM says Fisk will find them and murder them. According to STEM, Gray's body is fully under its control thanks to the breach. Cortez, who is pursuing them, is hit by an autonomous vehicle that malfunctioned as STEM uses Gray to drive to Fisk. When Cortez gets back to Gray's house, Pamela gives a STEM explanation. When Fisk is located by Gray and STEM, he discloses that his sole purpose was to immobilize Gray in order to implant him. Gray's movements are surpassed by Fisk's own enhancements. Gray gives STEM the upper hand and kills Fisk by playing on his brother Cirque's death. Messages from Aaron appear on Fisk's phone, implying that he planned everything. Gray smashes into Aaron's house, killing every staff member in his route, but Cortez holds him at gunpoint before Gray can kill Aaron. Aaron acknowledges how STEM, which has long since taken over every part of his life in an attempt to fulfill its desire to become human, pushed him to obey its commands. Aaron is killed by STEM, and Cortez is also targeted by STEM, but Gray struggles to regain control of his own body and shoots himself. Not paralyzed, Gray awakens in a hospital room. Asha says that after their crash, he has been unconscious for 2 days. Gray is actually still living with Aaron. Cortez is informed by STEM, who is in complete command, that Gray's mind has finally snapped due to the psychological pressure. This was STEM's goal from the beginning since it gave STEM the ability to take control of both Gray's body and mind. Gray's awareness thinks it has discovered a wonderful dream state, but STEM murders Cortez and walks away.